Hi, my name is Ken Fernandez.
And I'm Jordan.
And welcome to my channel, Gamers Genie. Today, Jordan and I are going to talk about our top 10 favorite games we demoed at GenCon.
Yeah, we always make up this list every year just because we love talking about the games that we tried out, and whether we bought them or not, we still want to share some of the games that we enjoyed demoing at GenCon this year.
Yep. Now, these are mostly going to be games. Some of these games we didn't actually demo. We just kind of learned how to play, but that will be enough to make it on this list. Mm-hmm. We just need to have learned some of the rules for the games in order for it to be on this list, because this year GenCon really had a lot more like demonstrations versus demoing. Like, we had one person just show you how to play the game rather than you get to kind of play a little bit of the game. Mm-hmm. But for some of these, they kind of make sense, and some of them, I don't know, they might not. Mm-hmm. But we'll point out which ones we had that and which ones we didn't.
Yeah. But anyways, let's go to the table and count down.
Okay, so number 10, just I was the one who demoed this.
I did watch, though.
Yeah, Jordan did watch. It's called Sea Salt and Paper. It's by Pandasaurus Games. It's a little card game. And what you're trying to do is it's a set collecting game. It's basically a set collecting game, and it has like special rules where you pick a card, you draw two cards, pick one to keep in your hand, and put one in the discard pile. Then you have to try to complete these sets to give yourself the maximum amount of points. Once the deck completely runs out, then the game's over and you can count the points. Unless someone has up to a certain number of points, then they can end the game. I believe it's 7. Or it's either 7 or it depends on the player count. I think for 5 players it's 7. But, you know, I like the artwork. The paper mache art on the cards was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, the origamis.
Yeah, the origami.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. For someone who has never done origami, I don't know how people got so talented to do it, because I know I want to try myself, but I always get intimidated by it just because I'm like, how am I supposed to master this, even though people say practice makes perfect, but I always get intimidated by trying origami myself. But I watched Kevin demoing it, and it sounds really interesting. They say it's like the like Rummy, which my family and I have played, you know, with the deck of cards and stuff, but I'm like, okay, but I'm still willing to try it out if Kevin and I decide to buy our own copy of this game.
Yep, so number 10 is Sea Salt and Paper.
Number 9 is Star Wars Villainous, not the one with Darth Vader on the cover, the one with Boba Fett on the cover, which
Scum and Villainy.
Scum and Villainy. Thank you for correcting me on that. We did learn how to play this new Star Wars Villainous expansion. It has Boba Fett, Cat Bane, and I forgot who was the third.
It was an Inquisitor.
Inquisitor, yeah, which I played as. So yeah, it was really interesting to play it with this new expansion. They actually told us like how one of them is unique, especially Boba Fett, since they said he has no allies, so or he doesn't have any friends or anything. So like the heroes could be his allies, or his allies could be his enemy. That's how the guy explained to us anyway.
Yep. Cad Bane is, he has a lot of assassinating he does. He can target someone, and then he can shoot people with the target, and then he collects the target, and that's how he completes his objective.
And for me, for the villain that I played as, the Inquisitor, I just defeat 3 villains at the end of just defeated 3 rebels, period, because I was confused by that, because in a heroes deck, it didn't say, like, which characters are rebels, and I had to ask Kevin, because he's seen Star Wars Rebels, and I haven't, so I'm like, is this a rebel? Is this a rebel? So,
well, they had the Star Wars Rebels characters, so it was like Ezra, and, Sabine, those guys.
But yeah, I still really enjoyed it. Playing this expansion. I do hope to add this to our collection, so.
Yep, so number 9 was Scum and Villainy. All right, so number 8 is Diced Veggies by Kids Table Board Game. This is currently the latest one out, I would say, because there's another one coming out later on this year called Wasabi, but this is the current one that people can kind of get. This one you get dice, and those are ingredients. The pips on the dice are the quantity of the ingredient, and you have to fulfill recipes on there. And I believe the first one to a certain number of recipes ends the game, and whoever has the most wins. I think.
Yeah, that's what the guy demonstrated to us. Yes, we didn't demo this, but we were taught how this game is played, which I do like, and Kevin and I do really enjoy a lot of kids' table board games. So we have like maybe 4 in our collection, because we have Haunted House, Wreck Raiders, Fossils, Creature Comforts,
and Power Plants.
Power Plants, yeah. So we have like a few in our collection, and we do enjoy a lot of them that we play anyway. So I hardly doubt that we're not going to enjoy this game, because I really liked how they always come up with new board games every time, and they're all different themes as they come up with more games.
This year was totally on food.
Yeah.
Like last year was like animals. This year it's going to be food.
Oh yeah, because Creature Comforts is animal based, yeah.
But then they did, I believe they also did Maple Valley.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did Maple Valley. I almost forgot about that one.
They did Creature Comforts, and then they did Maple Valley, and then they did Power Plants.
Yeah. I still remember one Gen Con. I did want to try out Hunt the House, but we didn't stop by their booth until like a couple of years later. I think that was my first Gen Con when Hunt the House came out, but still I enjoyed kids' table board games. So.
Yep, so that is why number 8 is Diced Veggies.
Coming on number 7 is Forbidden Jungle by Game Right Games. Or it's Game Right.
It's Game Right.
Game Right, thank you.
It can be Game Right or Game Right Games.
Yeah.
I think I've heard people say it both ways.
Okay.
This is the latest series in the Forbidden series. This is the latest game in that one.
Yeah, because first off we had Forbidden Island, Forbidden Desert, Forbidden Sky, and now Jungle. And the creator of the game himself actually taught us how to play this.
Yep. We got to meet Matt Leacock. He taught us how to play the game. He taught us like the differences, what you need to watch out for, how this can get out of control pretty quickly. It was really interesting. It was probably one of the first games I bought at GenCon. It was the first game I bought at GenCon.
Yeah.
Or the con.
Yeah. Not
in total.
Yeah.
I bought other games at GenCon.
It's just this GenCon, this was the first one you bought.
Yes. But yeah, it was pretty good. I really don't know how to, like, I can't fully explain it because, like, I just got a taste. You know, you can't let the aliens get too out of control. The population of the aliens get too out of control. You have to make sure it kind of feels like Alien or Predator or something like that. Something that you would see from like that kind of
yeah, basically
genre of film.
So yeah, basically in Forbidden Sky, you're building up a spaceship to go in space, and yeah, you land on a jungle planet. That's what Matt described it, and everybody else who is familiar with Forbidden Jungle described it as.
Yeah.
So it's like all 4 of them have a storyline all tied together.
Now, from what I understand, a lot of people seem to enjoy Forbidden Jungle a lot more than they enjoyed Forbidden Sky. I don't know if Jungle will have what it takes to dethrone Desert, because currently Desert is everybody's like favorite one in the series. But,
I don't know which one's my favorite in the series, to be honest with you.
But we'll see. So number 7 is Forbidden Jungle. Okay, so number 6 is the game Kites by Floodgate Games. This game is, you get like little timers, and you start off with one timer that's like your cloud timer, the day timer. So it allows the day to go on. And then the other ones, as soon as you play cards and you match the suits to the color to the suits on the timers, and you flip them up and you let the time run out. And you have to go around the table playing 2 cards, and you keep reflipping them if there's like a timer going out, so you can there's some strategy to it. You have to really pay attention to what's going on. But sometimes there's a card you don't have the suit, and the card can get and the kite can get grounded. This was very easy to learn, but there's also some other stuff like there's a storm, the kite strings can get tangled, there's a plane, all sorts of other distractions that's going on as well. Very colorful though, very beautiful to look at.
When you mentioned like, oh, there's possibility that the kites get hit by planes, I'm like, are there kites that go up that high? Because I have not heard any kites that go up that high. I'm not sure if it's just part of the game or is it just a fact.
The plane is a noise factor.
Oh, the noise factor, that's right.
But I believe there's a drone card, and kites have been known to get tangled up in drones.
Okay, that would make sense with drones versus planes, because I got confused by that when that guy was changing up. I still had fun playing kites. I was curious about it. I was like, wait, what kites? What's that all about?
A kite, to my knowledge, cannot go as high as a plane can go.
Yeah, I know. That's what got me confused. And you said it was a noise factor. I was like, okay, that would make more sense than get tangled from the airplane.
We have to communicate like a plane is flying over us. Like, what? I can't hear you!
Okay, that would make more sense.
So,
but anyways.
Yeah, so, it's a really fun game. That's why number 6 is kites.
Coming at number 5 is Ticket to Ride Legends of the West by Days of Wonder.
Yes, this is their first legacy game, at least to my knowledge. I don't know if Days of Wonder have made other legacy games, but to my knowledge, this is their first one.
I think this is their first one from what I've heard, but we could be wrong and we'll look it up later. But still.
So this one was designed by Alan R. Moon and Matt Leacock, as well as one other person, but their name kind of escapes my mind right now.
I keep forgetting too, so yeah. So it's those two and another person that we can't think of.
But it's, Matt, he helped make like Pandemic. I don't know if he helped make the Pandemic Legacy games, because I haven't really played anything outside of the original Pandemic.
Yeah.
But this one is basically, if you play Ticket to Ride, you probably can learn this game pretty quickly. It just adds a couple new things like world events and other things. I don't know what the other things are because we only played the first level.
But the story goes on with this one with Ticket to Ride. So like when you're done with like the first the easy level of this game, you can expand the map expands as you go from what we could tell, because the whole map is a giant puzzle piece. So that's why I liked about it. So it's like you start in a small map, because that's how the United States first started, from what I can tell from the map. I've read a lot of American history, so that's how I know about this. And then the map expanded, so that's what I'm guessing with this game anyway. We don't own this game currently, but Kim and I will find out as we play it to find out. But I still like how they...
I believe it'll be out in shelves on September the 3rd.
That's what I thought. But I'm excited to... I enjoy this game too, just because I like how they add elements to it versus just have different maps with a lot of Ticket to Ride games. And they add a story to it, so that's another thing I liked about this game.
Yeah, and oddly enough, even though the map was kind of smaller than most maps that I've played on, you never had a feeling that people were blocking you. I guess you would probably have that feeling if you were playing with a lower count than other people, because then the triple routes wouldn't be unlocked and the double routes wouldn't be unlocked. But I think because we had the double and triple routes unlocked, because we had 5 people, it was a lot easier for us to place our trains in the places that we wanted to place them. So this is really one of those games where you want to play with the maximum amount of players. You do not want to play with a minimum amount of players, because then routes will be locked, because it is just Ticket to Ride, but they added stuff like world events and stuff like that. One of the... I'm not going to say what we're not really going to say what the world events are, because it is a legacy game, and I do not know what board gamers count as a spoiler.
So yeah,
we're just going to keep it to basic Ticket to Ride stuff.
Yeah.
There's a world event deck. And there's certain things that happen in the world event deck that can affect the play. until the next world event card is drawn, and you draw it by drawing train cards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is very interesting twist to it, but again, I really enjoy this game, and I do hope we own this in the future, just because I want to know what other like levels we can go to with this game, because like we said, the map goals start small, but then it just expands as you go. So
most likely we'll not do a how to play video on this game.
Because I feel like it'll be too complicated, and I don't think it would fit for beginners too, for playing Ticket to Ride. I think you need to be a very experienced Ticket to Ride player to play this, in my opinion.
Well, plus, if we did a how to play video, then we do a gameplay video, we would have to do the legacy here.
Yeah.
And then at some point we'd have to cut it off, and then you'd be like, what happens next? Or, dang, you spoiled it all!
Yeah, just like with Harry Potter Hogwarts Battles.
Well, Hogwarts Battles is very different because like, if you're familiar with the movies or the books, you would be able to get through with it okay. But this is its own unique story. I can't look up in a book
That's true.
how the story goes.
But anyways, before we talked on and on about this game.
Yeah, number 5, Ticket to Ride, Legends of the West. Alright, so number 4 is Fractured Sky by, for now I'm going to call them IV Games. If they are going Roman numeral number 4, someone let me know in the comments below.
Yeah, because we weren't sure, so correct us if we're wrong.
Yeah, we're okay with being corrected. It's perfectly fine. This one was really good. Very colorful. Very colorful.
Oh yeah, it was very colorful.
This was like you're in a fantasy world and you're trying to keep majority control of these different areas so you can get all these different bonuses, such as like collecting resources, gold, iron, and wood. That's the only 3 resources. They have a track that you just scooch up a little tracker on, which is really nice. We got these little ships that we can place around, build buildings. There's so much that you can do on your turn, but you can only do so little because once you run out of the 3 main airships, then you're done. Then you're done for that round. As long as you don't place all 3 of your airships, you can pretty much expand throughout the board, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and what's cool about it is this that have numbers on it, it's magnetic to those ships. So I'm like, that's unique. I never played a game like that before. So
yep.
Yeah, that's pretty unique, and it even though I was like iffy about it, but I enjoyed demoing this game.
I was not. I saw this on an ad on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I saw so many different people talk about this game. I wanted to try it for myself. And you know, if the company is watching it, we are very open to doing a how to play video on this game. So if you guys want to send us some free merch, we're not against it. We do how to play videos here, so we're not reviewing stuff. Don't worry, we're okay with getting paid for teaching people how to play. Our opinion on teaching you how to play the game will not change.
No, it wouldn't. And I was worried about this game, to be honest with you, because I know you have dyscalculia, so like I know you and math aren't a good mix, but I know basic math you can do. But I was glad that you had fun with this game.
Oddly enough, I do better when I'm just playing a board game.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm more relaxed. It's not. If I miscalculate something, I can always ask somebody, "Hey, can you double check my work? I got 43. Can you check and see if I got 43? Did I get more? Did I get less?"
Like, you always ask me for.
Yeah, Jordan's really good at. We both have Asperger's, but Jordan's really good at math, and I'm really bad at it.
Yeah, that's a scientific fact about people with Asperger's. So yeah, girls are better at math than science, and guys are better at science than we are. Am I correct on that, or am I?
I'm pretty sure. I know a couple girls who are pretty good at science.
Well, I know I'm not, so admit that or not.
Well, the reason that is because of your Asperger's. One of the things that people with Asperger's struggle with is charts.
Charts?
Reading charts.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty good at reading charts. But anyways, enough about our Asperger's. Back to Fractured Sky.
Yeah.
But it was really, really good. It's really cool. And this is one of the things I love about this hobby, because unlike movies, TV shows, heck, even books now, where you get a lot of things that are based off of something else.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we have, this is based off of Marvel Comics, this is based off of, like, previous Star Wars movies, this is based off of, like, even, like, when you think of Disney in itself, it's all, most of their movies are based off of a fairy tale or
classic literature.
Or classic literature. Heck, even like Lion King, one of their most profitable ones is based off of Hamlet, like
which is one of Shakespeare's plays. Like, it is one of his famous ones, but everybody always think of Romeo and Juliet when they think of Shakespeare for some reason.
And then when you think of books, it's like there's always like a retelling or a reimagining of something. Mm-hmm. But it's really cool with Fractured Sky. This really shows that in the board game industry, it really you don't need to just do IP. In fact, it's more encouraged to go away from IP, because then you can be able to just create however you want, and you don't have to pay the company that owns the rights to those studios or whoever originally. Like, Villainous is awesome, but I can only imagine how much money Disney asked for to use Marvel, Disney, and Star Wars to make those games. Whereas, like, Fractured Sky, they didn't have to pay anybody because it came from, well, they had to pay the designer, obviously, but, it came from that person's brain. It did not come from a studio. It did not come from an already established book series or anything like that. Mm-hmm. They didn't need to pay a third party.
Yeah. But anyways, before we ramble some more...
Number 4, Fractured Sky.
Okay, so number 3 is Ahoy from Leader Games.
Do you want me to talk about this one? You can do the next one, because you'd probably be able to talk more about the next one than this one.
I mean, I was taught this game too,
I know, but I learned how to fully play the game now.
Yeah, because you played it like twice or 3 times already.
This is my second time playing it.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Oh my gosh, I love Ahoy. So the game goes where you start off, I'm just going to tell everybody the basics, because this is just like Root, where you all have little factions, and each little faction does different things. So I'm not going to go into what the factions do. I might lightly touch upon them, but I won't fully go in it. I'm just going to say the base game. So the goal of the game, just like Root, is to get to 30 points. And to do that, you need to have your flagships and other pieces. I won't say what they are. It's not a spoiler thing. I just want to kind of get to the bare bones of the game. Mm-hmm. You need to have the majority in a tile that you do, and you can go up to the and to place more tiles, you go up to the edge of a tile, and right when you go down, you place a new tile any way you want, as long as they're touching, and 2 islands don't touch it, and 2 islands aren't connected. We don't want to make an archipelago. And so then you can go in there, you add a die in the center that has a value of 1, but you can always increase that as the game progresses. And whatever you have the majority in each area, that's how many points you'll get. So at the start of the game, you'll always get 1 point for every place you have the majority. But then the first player gets to, if you're playing 2 players, the first player gets to notch up an area by 1. So you could have like 4, you could have up to 4 points every time. The player who first gets to 30 wins the game. Clearly this can go past 30, because I've seen stuff like 100 plus, I've seen like 50 plus tokens, stuff like that. So it clearly can go past that. This game is pretty fun. You get to play there's 4 different factions, but unlike the Root, which is this is kind of like a little more easier version of Root, where you have 4 different factions, you have 2 factions that are different, and then 2 smuggler factions. I met Kyle Farron, and I talked to him, and he said there is going to be a Ahoy expansion adding new factions. And I'm like, okay, I'm not surprised about that, because, Root, there's like, I think 8 factions now.
I thought there was like 10, but I could be wrong.
Well, there's 4, and then there's a 2 for the next one, 2 for the next one, so that's 4, 6, 8.
No, 8.
Oh yeah, there's 10.
Okay.
There's 10.
Yeah.
But anyways, this if you like Root, if you like Oath, Vast, Fort, if you like all these games, you really like this game. There's a lot of strategy and thinking. Like you can, when you're the first player, you can wipe away the market And so, like, somebody could be, like, really want a card from the market, and they were gonna, like, oh, well, I'll get it next turn. I'm gonna wipe that away. Dang it, I didn't get that, like, ship right or whatever. This game is just really cool, really fun. I'm gonna hear what Jordan has to say now.
Well, even though the guy that we learned this game from at one of the vendors, he said that this is much easier to learn than Root, because he said, like, every time he tried to teach his Root to his friends, his friends are like, I don't get it, and then with Ahoy, they were able to get it. Even though those two games are similar, like, Ahoy is basically Root, but with pirates, but I know I'm willing to give it a try, because I know I'm not sure if it's an unpopular opinion, but I do prefer the virtual game of Root than the actual game, just because I find it easier for me to play than the actual Root. Even though Kevin explained to me several times I could do it on my own without the virtual game, but still.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me, though, since this is kind of like a little bit of a step up, a little bit up from that, let us know in the comments below if you guys want us to make a sequel for our top 10 favorite games, intro-level games or welcoming games or whatever. You know, like maybe just something that's like a mid-level game kind of thing. So let us know in the comments below if you want to see something like that, and we'll kind of put that together. I'll probably release that in January or something like that.
Yeah, we shall see, though.
Yeah, we'll see. So just let us know if you want to see something like that, because, you know, Ahoy, I would definitely say, has like kind of a mid-level difficulty as opposed to Root. But Root has a high-level difficulty because there's 4 different factions.
True.
Whereas it's 2 different factions, and then the last 2 are the same. So it's like you have the cats and the birds, and then instead of the Woodland Alliance, you have 2 vagabonds. So it's it would be a lot easier for people to get a handle of it, because if someone doesn't really follow very well, then you could just have someone play a smuggler, and then the other guy play as a smuggler, and they'll be like, okay, we'll have that smuggler go last if they're not that confident in this. So then by the time they're done, they can already see somebody go and go like, oh, so that's what I can do.
But anyways.
Number 3, Ahoy. Oh, okay. I thought Jordan was going.
Yeah, sorry.
But number 2 is the Disney Dixit. Dixie Dixit. Dixit. What I said.
Disney Dixit. Or Dixit Disney Edition. Yeah.
I don't know, that's how I heard them pronounce it in No Rules Barred.
Okay.
They're British, this is a French company. I figured they'd be more closer to pronouncing it correctly than we would.
Oh, yeah. So this is basically a regular Dixit game, but Disney edition, a Disney spin on it, and I really enjoyed this game a lot. This is definitely one of my favorites from this year's Gen Con, just because all the beautiful artwork from different Disney movies. I was in awe when Kevin and I were demoing it, and with the people that we were demoing it. Oh, don't pull George of the Jungle right now.
Ooh.
And anyways, the people that we demoed it, we were all like guessing which artwork is from which movie, and some of us were like, we've seen a lot of Disney movies more than others. They're like, oh yeah, it's this movie. So that's what I love about it. And of course, my favorite part is the meeples. You can have Tinkerbell, you can have Genie, you have Mickey. I know there's like 3 more, and I forgot what the other meeples were. For
Mickey, Steamboat Willie Mickey, the Cheshire Cat.
Cheshire Cat, that's right.
The Genie, Tinkerbell, Mike Wazowski.
Oh yeah, Mike, one of my other faves. and oh yeah, May from Turning Red.
And May from Turning Red. And then if you would have gotten it at Gen Con, you could get a Stitch meeple as well.
But they were sold out since
day
one. They
were sold out. But Jordan is still gonna look and try to get her copy by pre-ordering it.
Yeah, because I am not waiting until Christmas to get that game. I'm sorry, but and they gave me a coupon for ordering online, so I'm using it. I'm taking that opportunity.
Yeah, I like Dixit. I like most of the games in the Dixit universe. I like Mysterium, Obscurio, Stella. I like the original Dixit game.
Which we don't own, I don't think.
The original Dixit game?
Yeah, the original Dixit game.
No, we don't own the original Dixit game. I think most likely we'll get this one.
Yeah.
Versus original Dixit.
True.
And I think, in my opinion, if you guys like Dixit, you know, it's nothing against you, but I do feel like this is it's a better welcoming game. It's a better intro level game versus the original Dixit. The original Dixit, you have to like kind of really know each other in order to get the clues and everything like that. Whereas I could be like, okay, so I could say robot, and then everybody would place a card face down on what they think robot would do. They'd see there's a Wally card out there. They'd be like, okay, so that clearly needs to be it. That's the card that the guy put down. And that's what you would do versus the other way.
I know I gave a lot of good clue words like glass and C, like SEA.
Yeah.
That kind of C.
But, yeah, so number 2, Disney Dixit. Okay, so number 1 is Fairies and Magical Creatures by Forbidden Games. This game is a tile placement,
deck building.
Deck building-ish.
Yeah.
Worker placement-ish game.
So it's like a mix of different board game mechanics that we're both used to.
Yeah. You get like these little cubes. You gotta put them all out to try to collect these to get the favor from these different fairies, and all while growing a nice little garden.
Yep.
In order to score points, your garden tiles have to be touching path tiles. So it has to be touching a part of the pathway. And then play goes clockwise, but passing the first player token goes counterclockwise.
Which is very different from all the board games that we played.
Yes, it was very, very different. It was very enjoyable, right, Jordan?
Yeah, it was. Even though the confusing part is which one is to pass the first player token and on the turn order, but we got the hang of it as the more we played it.
But once again, the artwork on that very beautiful.
Annie, yeah.
Annie always does a good job.
Yeah, we love her artwork. We're like a big fan of her artwork at this point.
Yeah, but she has not. I don't think she's ever been in the Artist Avenue.
No, I haven't seen her booth. I would have looked it up if she did, but again, Kevin and I are a big fan of her art.
Well, it's got to cost like quite a bit of money to have a booth.
Probably, yeah. It wouldn't be surprising. But again, we both enjoy this game, and it's been our top picks for this year's GenCon.
Yeah.
I think it was the very first game that we played too.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we did like a couple of demos.
Yeah.
That day too. We were like marathoning it.
Yeah, we were.
Just moving from table to table, like, oh, we gotta quickly do this. We want to get it all done before tomorrow because we want to go to home tomorrow.
I think it's because we've been to GenCon so much that we just know which booth we want to go to for demoing it and stuff. And if we see a game that is interesting that's outside of our list, then we would give it a try. Yep.
Next year we are definitely going to try to do, if they have it, the Disney Villainous tournament.
Yeah, because I would definitely sign up for it just because I love Disney Villainous. And the one thing that I'm wondering is, does the player have to pick, or is it going to be randomized? Most likely it's going to be randomized, so I have to practice playing as different villains, not just the ones that I'm an expert on. And
hopefully I get to try that Mosaic game. I really don't want to try to purchase it until I've tried it myself.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen many people try playing it or give that game a try, and all that. But
yep. That'll be it for our top 10 games that we really enjoyed playing and demoing at GenCon 2023. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell to be notified for top 10s lists just like this one. And if you have a game that you really enjoyed playing at GenCon, it doesn't need to be like something brand new or anything, or you didn't even need to be at GenCon, because I know some people don't go to GenCon or can't make it to GenCon or something like that. Just put down a new game that you tried recently in the comments below, and we'd love to hear from you. If you are a big fan of the channel as a whole, consider becoming a Patreon supporter on our Patreon page. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. We'd like to thank our current Patreon supporters. Your donations mean a lot to this channel and helps us do what we do.
And And if you're a bigger fan of the channel, you can check out our Etsy shop where we mostly have t-shirts right now, but we will expand that. But for right now, we just have t-shirts. So yeah, the link will be down in the comment in the description down below, so you guys can check it out.
And if you're going to GenCon next year, we are planning on trying to make special Gamers Genie buttons that we're going to be handing out to convention goers, hopefully for all 4 days.
Yeah, but we shall see, but we're crossing our fingers for that.
Yep. So, be on the lookout for our next Top 10s list, but until then,
Thanks for the views.